Coming up, a tragedy strikes Louisville, Kentucky.
And a water line ruptures in Pullman. All this and more coming up on Murrow News 8.
From the Northwest Public Broadcasting Studios on the campus of Washington State University, this is Murrow News 8.
Good evening, I'm Adon Martinez.
And I'm Ryan Wasson. Welcome to Murrow News 8.
Right off the bat, we're going to jump outside with Ivy Shank to talk about today's weather. Ivy?
Yeah, thanks guys. I'm right outside the studio. I am going to be back in a few minutes, but I wanted to let you know how beautiful it is outside. The sun is shining. There's a few clouds in the sky, but the sun is showing its beautiful face. It's nice and warm, very little wind, nice little breeze, and nothing that's going to knock your hat off your head. I'll be back to talk about what the rest of the week is going to look like in a few minutes, but for now, back to you guys in the studio.
If you're an Idaho resident, it's likely your employer can no longer force you to be vaccinated for COVID-19. Governor Brad Little signed a bill Thursday to prohibit private and public employers from requiring coronavirus vaccines as a condition of employment. There are some exceptions, though, with healthcare being a notable mention that's exempt from the mandate.
A 23-year-old bank employee armed with a rifle live-streamed his own attack, killing 4 people Monday morning. Police arrived as shots were still being fired inside Louisville, Kentucky's Old National Bank, killing the shooter in exchange for a gunfire. This marks the 15th mass shooting in the U.S. this year, just 2 weeks after the school shooting in Nashville. Louisville Mayor Craig Greenberg said the attack was, quote, evil act of targeted violence.
Pullman police and WSU authorities have agreed to work together in case of an active shooting happening on campus or anywhere around Pullman. Take a look at some of these figures here. There's already been 139 mass shootings and 13 mass murders this year alone, forcing local and state authorities to work together if something were to happen in the future. Local authorities in Pullman are already working with WSU campus police, Lewiston County Police, and authorities in Spokane.
The state Senate approved a ban on the sale of assault weapons in Washington state last Saturday. The bill bans the sale, transfer, distribution, manufacturing, and importation of assault-style weapons, specifically listing more than 50 models like AR-15s, AK-47s, and M16s. Also banning semi-automatic rifles shorter than 30 inches, those that have magazines with a capacity of 10 or more rounds than those that are also equipped with flash suppressors or shrouded barrels. The bill only applies to future sales, not firearms that are currently possessed by people.
Spokane woman Nicole Simmons pled guilty to drug possession after she was charged with theft of a motor vehicle and delivery of a controlled substance. Police found 1,500 fentanyl pills, 40 grams of heroin, and half a pound of meth in her pockets. Whitman County Superior Judge David Frazier said Simmons could serve anywhere from a year to 20 months in jail.
We have some interesting news coming out of downtown Pullman. Our live reporter Gabby Durante is there to tell us more. Gabby?
Thanks, guys. I'm here off of Kamayakan Street, where yesterday a man in his 20s threw rocks into this river right here, causing one of the main lines to burst. Many downtown businesses were affected by this, and there were some low water pressures throughout some parts of Pullman. Officials say that the water is still safe to drink, and they're trying to repair the line as soon as possible. Pullman police say that the man will not face charges because it was an accident and he didn't know that the line was there. We'll update you when we have the information, but reporting live from downtown Pullman, I'm Gabby Durante. Back to you guys at the desk.
Next up, a recap on the Krugel Park egg hunt.
And a special something could be going to this Pullman restaurant after the break on Murrow News 8.
1 in 3 adults has pre-diabetes. 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your favorite brother, your other brother, you, yes, your football buddy, your football buddy, you, the boss's boss. If 1 in 3 adults has pre-diabetes, that means it could be you, your barber, your barber's barber.
Nice work. Thanks.
You, your plumber.
Breathe right into your foot.
Your plumber's masseuse.
Yes.
You, your dog walker.
On your left.
Your cat jogger. Or you, your co-pilot. Your co-pilot's co-pilot. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org to know where you stand.
Could you save a classmate's life in the middle of a stressful situation? Well, that's what one Eastern Washington student just did. Tasia Nelms was getting ready for a calculus final when a student next to her collapsed. Nelms was on the phone with 911 operators when they encouraged her to give CPR to the student. Nelms' actions are credited with preventing permanent damage and death.
And the 62nd annual Easter egg hunt was back in Pullman on Saturday on Easter weekend. For a recap on how the event went, we sent our reporter Austin Peppers.
On your mark, get set, go!
The 62nd annual Pullman Parks and Recreation and Kiwanis Club of Pullman Egg Hunt at Krugel Park returned on Saturday, April 8th.
It's an amazing event for the community to come out and enjoy Easter.
The event was for 1 to 9-year-olds who seemed to have a lot of fun finding eggs.
Kids here at the 62nd annual Easter egg hunt had the chance to find and grab as many of these as they possibly could, which include candy, prizes, and even coupons to win gift baskets.
Megan Vining, the recreation manager for the City of Pullman Parks and Recreation Department, broke down how they prepared for the event.
We start with a lot of preparation back in January, but then really amps up the end of February, early March. We organize, sort, count, put together over 8,000 eggs, and then a couple of days ago we meet with the Pullman Senior Center and their volunteers stuff the 8,000 eggs.
The event is expected to return for a 63rd time next year. Reporting in Pullman with videographer Luke Sorenson, Austin Peppers, Murrow, News 8.
Black Cypress, an upscale restaurant located in downtown Pullman, is closing in on the coveted James Beard Award. The Outstanding Hospitality Award has been narrowed from 20 national nominees down to just 5, with Black Cypress competing with restaurants from Alabama, South Carolina, Maine, and Illinois. If won, Black Cypress will join a group of under 100 restaurants nationwide that have taken home the prestigious award. Well, a stroll down to Black Cypress might not be a bad idea. I just saw you soaking in the sun a few minutes ago, Ivy. Please tell me we're going to get more of that this week.
Thanks, Ryan. Yeah, it was beautiful out there. You saw me just relishing in the sun earlier. And I hate to say it, it's beautiful right now. It was 67 degrees, but it's not going to stay that way forever because tomorrow it's going to get a little bit cooler and we are going to see some rain tomorrow in the evening and also winds of 40 miles an hour out of the west. So hang on to your hats with that one. And you might want to bring an umbrella to work to drive home and take home with you. Looking at the rest of the state, it was pretty common across the board today. It was in the 60s, a little bit in the 50s for most of Washington with the sun peeking out. We had some showers in Yakima and then the usual rain that we get on the western side of the state. It was a little bit cooler there, but nothing too out of the ordinary. But today it was just beautiful over here on the eastern side. Looking at the rest of this week, we are going to get a little bit more rain, a little bit more snow tomorrow and Wednesday. Yes, Wednesday we are getting just a tiny bit more snow. It was beautiful today, but we have to go through a little bit of the grossness here, you know, those April showers. But then the rest of the week and into the weekend, it's kind of looking much better. We're going to get back up into the 60s at 61 degrees on Saturday. It's going to be beautiful again, so don't put away your shorts and t-shirts just yet because we're going to get it back, but you might want to dust off your umbrella a little bit for tomorrow and Wednesday. That's all I have for you at weather. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks so much, Abby. It's nice to know that some of that weather is finally coming our way. I feel like it's long overdue here in Pullman. It's April after all, crying out loud. Well, after a crappy weekend of weather down in Augusta, Georgia, we do have a recap of the Masters.
And a rough weekend for one WSU sport coming up on Murrow News 8.
Jon Rahm shot 69 to capture his first Masters championship by 4 strokes over LIV golfers Brooks Koepka and Phil Mickelson. If you look at your screen, you can see the leaderboard, with Rahm being the only player in the top 5 that is from Spain, being the 4th player from España to win the green jacket. It's Rahm's 4th win of the season and his 2nd major championship after winning the U.S. Open in 2021. The Mariners had a tough loss yesterday, but were able to get revenge on Cleveland, who took 3 of 4 from the Mariners in the opening series. After the weekend, the Mariners sit tied for 3rd in the AL West with Houston. Both teams are 4-6. The Rangers and the Angels are both 5-4 and sit on top of the division. The Mariners are actually starting right now against the Cubs with Luis Castillo at the mound. The heat proved too much for the Cougs down in the desert. The Cougs were in the dustpan after the Sun Devils brought out the brooms. On Thursday, the Cougs lost by 1 run and was the closest they get to beating the 16th team in the nation all weekend. On Friday, the Cougs often stalled a little and then they lost 2-6. On Saturday, the Cougs only managed 1 run to close out the series against the Sun Devils. It's kind of a case of Jekyll and Hyde. You don't know what kind of Cougar baseball team will be at the diamond until after the final score.
Next, find out what National Day it is today.
Coming up on Murrow News 8.
It's okay to be scared. You don't have to be so strong.
Strength is not optional. This is my mother, my purpose. Real muscle is lifting her spirits between bedpans and bad news from doctors that doubt her strength. Strength is buried in bills, managing meds, and swallowing those moments of, Mom, it's me, your daughter. Remember, my strength is super, but I'm still human, right?
Look who's here. There she is. Hey, thanks for your patience.
How you feel?
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community, or call 1-877-333-5885.
It's National Sibling Day. This day goes out to all the annoying little brothers, strong older sisters, and every sibling in between. Life would never be the same without you. All right, I'll open up the floor to you guys here real quick, but a quick shout out, of course, to Emma and Nathan, a couple siblings of my own. I love you guys. Hope to see you guys at graduation here in just a few weeks. What about you guys? You guys got any siblings?
Yeah, so I actually have an older brother who we're only a couple years apart, and then my little sister is 13 years younger than me, so hi, Nadine.
I'm an only child, so it's not my day.
What about you, Adon?
I have 3. I have a younger sister, younger brother, and an older brother.
Okay, all right. Well, thanks for tuning in, everybody. Of course, if you've watched us, if you missed anything, you can find us here on YouTube. You can find us on Facebook and Twitter as well. You can find us here on YouTube again for our previous newscast. Always watch us here as well. More news can be found at nwpb.org/MN8. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, as we've already mentioned, but you already know that. Thanks for watching, everybody, and have a good night.